Hello, welcome to the Laws of Chanukah. We are in Siman Tov Reish Pei Daled, 684. We're talking about laning on Chanukah, laning, the Torah reading on Chanukah. So this first sif may be a little hard to follow if you don't have the laning open in front of you. So if you want to follow along, you can get an art scroll on the standard art scroll sitter. The laning for Chanukah is on page 948. Even if you don't have that, I'm sure you will gain by just listening. So we're going to read, there's different customs what to read the Torah reading on Chanukah. It's about the same, it's a little different between the Sfarim and Ashkenazim. I'm going to focus on the Ashkenazic practice as I am an Ashkenazic Jew, and we're learning the Mishnah Berurah, which was written for Ashkenazic Jewry. Korin Karbanos Hanasim Sheba Parshas Naso Shlosh B'chol Yom. So Parshas Naso, we read in Sefer B'Midbar, the inauguration of the tabernacle, of the Mizbeach. So this is the part of the Torah that we read on Chanukah. Where Chanukah we had a rededication of the temple, so we read about the dedication of the Mizbeach. The dedication of the Mishnah Berurah is going to say the dedication of the Mizbeach completed, the work of the Mizbeach was completed on the 25th of Kislev, which coincides with Chanukah. Umaschilim beBirkas Kohanim. The Shulchan Aruch says you start the laning with Birkas Kohanim. Yivarecha Hashem Yishmerecha, right? The blessing of the Kohanim. That starts right before the karbanos that were brought at the inauguration of the tabernacle. Some say Shemaschilin b'Yom Kalos Moshe. For Ashkenazic Jews, though, we don't start that early. We start later in the parsha, which is Vahi b'Yom Kalos Moshe, which over here is Numbers 7 verse 1. V'Korah also im Kohen v'Levi. You read it with the Kohen and the Levi. V'Yisrael Korah b'Yom HaRishon. And the third aliyah, the Yisrael will start from the words B'Yom HaRishon. Okay, that's what the Sfardim do. The Ashkenazim, v'Yesh Omrim, Sha'Kohen Korah Kol Oso HaParsha Ad B'Yom HaRishon. If you look in the Siddur, you'll see that the Kohen reads the whole beginning parsha until you get the details of the sacrifice on the first day. There were many days. Each tribe brought a sacrifice. The head of each tribe brought a sacrifice. So the Kohen Aliyah on the first day of Chanukah reads the introduction until the first sacrifice. V'Halevi v'Yisrael Kohen b'Yom HaRishon. And then the Levi, the second Aliyah, and the Yisrael, the third Aliyah, they split up the sacrifice that was brought on the first day. That's what the Ramah says to do. That's on the first day. So on the first day of Chanukah, we're reading, so to say, the introduction of the heads of the tribes bringing the sacrifices for the inauguration of the tabernacle, and then we are splitting up the first day. So now what do you do the subsequent days of Chanukah? B'Yom Sheni, on the second day of Chanukah, Korah Kohen B'Yom HaSheni. The second day of Chanukah, the Kohen reads the parsha on the second day. Ad Par Echad Ben Bakar, until the phrase Par Echad Ben Bakar, V'Levi Ad B'Yom HaShlishi, and the Levi reads until the words of Yom HaShlishi. So according to the Shulchan Aruch, the Kohen and Levi split up the sacrifice for the second day. Now what does the Yisrael do? V'Yisrael Chayzer V'Korah B'Yom HaSheni. Then the Shulchan Aruch says that the third aliyah goes back and repeats what the Kohen and Levi already read. That's what Sfardim do, but what do Ashkenazim do? You do this every day, he says. So according to the Shulchan Aruch, on the third day, you'll have the Kohen and Levi split up the aliyah of the third day, the third sacrifice, and then the Yisrael will go back and reread that. You'll read it again. But that's not what the Ashkenazim do. Says the Ramah, V'yesh Omrim, there are those that say, She Yisrael Koreh B'Yom Shala'achrav. The Yisrael, instead of going back and reading again, he'll read the next day. So let's say, take day 2. What do Ashkenazim do? On day 2, you read the second sacrifice. You may have a cold. The second day, you read the second sacrifice, that the Kohen and Levi split it up, and then the Yisrael will actually read the third day. He'll go on. He'll read the third day, even though it's only the second day. You do the same thing every day. And that is the custom for Ashkenazic Jewry. B'Yom Shmini, now what do you do the 8th day? Maschilin B'Yom HaShmini, you start with on the 8th day. V'Gomrim Kol HaSeder, and you finish the whole parsha. So it's a very long laning. V'Korah Parsha Rishon Shabbaloscha, you even go into the next parsha of Baloscha. Baloscha I have a very strong connection to, because that was my Bar Mitzvah parsha. We read about the menorah at the beginning of Parshas Baloscha. V'Nagim L'Sayim Kein Asas HaMenorah, and you finish the laning on the 8th day of Kein Asas HaMenorah, and that's how they made the menorah. So the 8th day of Chanukah, the laning is much longer, because there were 12 tribes, and each tribe brought a sacrifice, and there's only 8 days of Chanukah. So on the 8th day, you're reading from the 8th day till the end, and you're also reading Parshas Baloscha, the beginning until Kain Asas Menorah. And if you have an Art Scroll Siddur, you look at page 951, you'll notice that the laning there is much longer than the other days. Okay, let's do the Mishnah Berurah. It says the Mishnah Berurah. Hanasiyim Mishum Mishum Nigmar Malachos HaMishkan Rechav Hei B'Kislev. You finish the finishing of the Mishkan was done on the 25th of Kislev. Kohanim. So now, why did the Shulchan Aruch say you start with the blessing of the Kohanim? We don't do this, but what's the reason of the Shulchan Aruch, of the Sephardic Jews? Because who did the miracle on Chanukah? It was Kohanim. Kohanim did the miracle. They were the ones who fought the war. Im Kohen v'Levi Kohen Yikra ad Lifnei HaMishkan. The Kohen reads until Lifnei HaMishkan, or ad Chanukah Sabayis, or until the phrase Chanukah Sabayis. Vasher Yikra Levi, so and the rest is read by the Levite and the Israelite. Avlosim Shanago Likro the Kohen ad Vani Avarchem. There are those who have the custom that the Kohen reads until the phrase Vani Avarchem. Hu minig b'tos v'tzarch levatel. This is a mistake. Right? They don't even, the Kohen, according to this minhag, wouldn't even read the part of the parsha about the inauguration of the tabernacle. He would only read the blessing of the Kohanim. The Mishnah Berurah says this is a mistake. After you do the laning, you recite half Kaddish. Im tov v'kor b'yom sheni shel Chanukah parshas nasi shlishi ukiyotzi. Let's say you read the wrong day. It's the second day of Chanukah, and the Kohen reads the third day. Al Talhem, it counts. Ve'en k'pei b'yom. You don't have to go back. It's fine. We're not so strict what day it is. It says the Mishnah Berurah Hashmini, the 8th day, Kohen v'Levi kori b'karbano shel Gamliel. Yisrael Gomer. On the 8th day, the Kohen and Levi read the Korban of Gamliel, and the Yisrael finishes the rest of the Parsha. So you might think that you split it up evenly. That's not the case. You'll see on the last day of Chanukah that the Kohen and the Levi, they split up. Libnei Menashe, Gamliel, Ben Petatzur. The Kohen and Levi split up that one day, and the Yisrael has a super long aliyah. So it's really the Yisrael with a super long aliyah. You can take a look at that on page 951, and we'll stop there for today. I know this was very technical, so if you have a siddur and you want to relearn this with a siddur, that might be more practical. Okay, wishing everyone a great day. So the Shari Tshuva brings different customs. If in a Shiva house you say Hallel, but I see here he cites in the back from the Gesher Chaim. The Gesher Chaim is like the sefer that people follow when it comes to the customs of mourning. He says during Rosh Chodesh, even during Rosh Chodesh, so seemingly also by Chanukah, in the house of a mourner, the mourners themselves should leave the room, then everybody else should say Hallel. So none of us should ever be in that situation, but it seems to be the custom is in a Shiva house that the mourners should leave the room, and then everybody else who's making the Shiva minyan should say Hallel. We'll finish here. Wishing everyone a great day.